DJ Redbone. She'll be telling us more about her exploits on the decks. A very interesting history as far as mixing is concerned. But nonetheless, it's good to be back. It's good to be here this afternoon, Waigamora. A day after Valentine.
A day after Valentine's, yes.
We have a lot of love
for our football fans out there,
yes.
And right now we're getting into a very special moment. Pick up your phone. The hashtag is Monday Football. We've got a very special guest here in studio, and the moment you've all been waiting for is right here.
But you wezi command umachina influence. Wali to the row. Who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Wanna run from my children's house. Tunaogelea kwa jasho letu. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Achana now. Mungu yangu inalia inasentu. Iliponiona nikinoa kisu. Nilikaribisha ile asili pet food. Homa inafunika nostrils. Coincidentally anapika seafood. Akidhani sinusia rufu. Uchoyo hainanga karibu. Mtoto ikinofto. Niko like you look familiar. We met before. I don't need a candy.
That's right. First things first, I'll introduce Mike Okinyi. He's been away for a couple of days. Had a great time, I hear, in Arsenal. Or actually watching Arsenal matches and so forth. Mike, what have you been up to?
Not just Arsenal.
Not just Arsenal.
I went to Qatar as well.
Wow.
Watched a very dynamic footballer from Kenya. I didn't know he exists. He's called Katana. Playing at Aspire Academy. The main attacking player for the Aspire team against all the other. They've played Inter Milan, they've played AC Milan, they've played Arsenal, they've played Real Madrid. What time wafunga? So I was hoping that we'll have time to download the videos and watch the goals, but that is what is coming up next week.
Is that the one they're calling Kenya's Messi?
That is the little Messi,
That's
the Kenyan Messi.
I hear you.
There. So a lot of things have been happening, but good stuff.
Yes. All right. Well, I believe it's time to quickly start with some of the highlights of the weekend before we get into the heart of the matter. The hashtag, of course, being Monday Football. Now, Gor Mahia, they had a false start in their CAF Champions League first leg tie against, I'm told it's called Knaps from Madagascar, losing 2-1. Synaps?
Yes.
Well, some are saying Synaps, others are saying Knaps, but these are the highlights of that match.
Let's take a look at the local scene, and AFC Leopards shared the spoils in their first match of the new Kenyan Premier League season, drawing 1-1 with Mathare United at the Nyayo National Stadium.
Last season plays it into the center, and the header into the net, and Mathare United in the second minute of this game, in the 30th minute. Tololwa Mboya, 1-1 the score. And the Tololwa opens his account to celebrate the newcomers' goal for their club. It's back to business. Parity restored here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Absolutely, parity.
Well, Sofapaka is currently at the summit of the Kenyan Premier League season after a clinical 3-1 demolition of Ushuru FC at the Machakos Stadium.
Well, newly promoted side Posta Rangers also had the perfect start to the new Kenyan Premier League season with a slim 2-0 victory over Muhoroni Youth.
And finally, the first goal of the campaign by former Gor Mahia striker Timothy Otieno. Finds Mwaura, good pass. Mwaura looking to beat his man. Yusuf Mohammed watching. An opportunity, shot at goal. A second one for Rangers, and it's Tim Otieno with a brace in this game. That goal surely settles matters for the mailman.
Well, newly elected Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa, and he has joined us this afternoon on Monday Football, delivered a tactical masterclass in the FKF polls when he took former Chair Sam Nyamwea's 2011 election strategy to some extent, modified it, and prompted the 62-year-old to throw in the towel before the first vote had been cast at the Kasarani Gymnasium. Mwendwa was the first to announce his candidacy in 2015, and his dream to change football came to fruition last week when he was announced as the winner. But how did the information technology expert upstage the status quo? Let's find out.
Kenya is a football-loving nation.
This video recording was Nick Mwendwa officially declaring his candidacy for the post of the Football Kenya Federation on June 2nd, 2015. The Kariobangi Sharks chairman and IT specialist had launched himself into the murky waters of Kenyan football, which has been marred by controversy, corruption and gross mismanagement. The 36-year-old appeared to be a non-starter, competing against heavyweights led by incumbent Sam Nyamwea and KPL chairman Ambrose Rachier, two men who had been in football administration for decades. However, this was not the first time Mwendwa was targeting the National Executive Committee. In 2011, his bid for the Nairobi seat was unsuccessful. 4 years later, he adopted a different strategy as he campaigned in the sub-branches, marshalling support for his team change outfit. The national elections will adopt a different format with the branches, clubs and representative bodies for the referees and players, totaling 77 delegates electing the new executive. The polls were slated for November 2015, but they were postponed numerous times by the Electoral Board. During this time, Mwendwa was winning favor with the branches and the clubs as they showed their support for a man who had been in charge of the FKF transfer matching system. He left his post in May 2015 when he was elected chairman of the FKF Premier League. Mwendwa announced his interest for the national body a month later, claiming he will take the sport back to the grassroots. Once the sub-branch elections were held in December 2015, Mwendwa's cronies had won 66 out of 84 available slots, and when the branch elections followed, the CEO of Riverbank Solutions, a company providing software solutions across the region, had won 16 out of 20. These branches would form a significant number of votes at the national polls as he outwitted the chasing pack using a strategy Nyamwea perfected in the 2011 polls. The 36-year-old, 26 years younger than the former president, is the new man in the hot seat. Nick Mwendwa now has the arduous task of salvaging the sport's former glory.
Right, as we mentioned earlier, we have a very special show lined up for you. I don't know if my director can help get the shot of the panel that's here with us, because I want to quickly tell you who's here at the moment. What we're doing is that I know Mr. President has been around the media this week, but what we do differently on Monday Football is that we try and get actual football stakeholders to come and share with him what are the challenges in the industry and what needs to be done to change them. Right here we have representatives from the KPL, FKFPL, women's soccer, street soccer, you name it, they're here with us today, and they'll be helping us pose those questions to the man on the hot seat. Mike Okindi is next to him. Mike, take it away.
Now let's go, Nick.
Okay, Nick. I will stick to that. Congratulations are all over.
Thank you.
I will not get into how you won the election. You've already talked about that over and over again. My first question would be, the outgoing president, Big Sam himself, said, at the point when he handed over the mantle, he said, we've been working together. And I am handing over to the right person.
Yes.
And this working together has been misrepresented.
Yes.
And guys have said working together meaning Nick all along has been Project Nyamwea.
Everyone wants to be associated with something good. That would be my response to that question. Everyone. I've been working on the street. Guys who are not football guys want to be associated with us. Guys who are in football want to be associated with our win. When you win, Mike, even your opponents won't be associated with you.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. So it's okay for him to say that.
FKF.
Yes.
Are we at Nyayo Stadium? Are we at Goal Project? Where are we?
We should be at Goal Project. I went to inspect the Goal Project on Friday, and it's not in good shape. The grass is as high as myself, and it's been left in a bad shape. Apparently it was being changed, but they didn't do a good job. FIFA were very clear with me, and I was very clear also that we're going to call that FKF house.
Yes.
And we expect in 6 months,
yes,
or less, that you drive there with your beautiful car, Mike, and park it next to the sign written FKF house with some water billowing off it. We want to have a good place to work from, and we are going to change that place to make sure that we host all football. Our dream is to have all football in Kenya, including that of Nairobi, and all of it hosted at the FKF house. So when you go there, all services of the game are offered under one roof. That means the Premier League going there, the second division going there, referees going there, women, and all that you know is football administration will be hosted there within the next 2 years.
That is part of the FKF constitution, that FKF house will host all these people.
No, it's not part of the constitution. It's part of our dream.
Okay.
As team change, as a new administration. It's just my way of thinking that if I work with you in the same building, we have a chance to meet quickly. We have a chance to solve problems faster. We have a chance to offer services to Kenyans better. And that's why I dream to take everybody there under one roof. Just like the way I come here to Citizen, I get all radio and all TV here. It makes me do this faster.
Okay.
Yes.
Your first task would be to clean up house. Where are you starting? Where is the cleanup starting?
Let me give you a picture after Thursday. After Thursday, we had our first NEC informal meeting. And of course, we had things in our heads to share, so we looked at what needs to be attacked quickly. And I'll tell you, Mike, in this show you will know that there's a lot of things that you didn't know.
Yep.
In this show you will know that our job is cut out, just like you thought, maybe bigger than you thought.
Yes.
But we have been attacking it for the last couple of days. We met with the NEC, we met with KPL, we've met with the sponsors already that are there. We met with new prospective sponsors already. We met with new people that want to offer different services. I went on Friday, the most profound one, to meet the staff, 22 of them, that have been working for the Federation.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, Mike, these guys had not been paid their salaries for 7 months.
22 guys, 7 months.
22 guys that had not been paid a single cent for that 7 months. So the first decision was, people's children have not gone to school. My own child in school for the last 2 months.
Yes.
Someone's kid who's been working for us at the Federation has not been paid for 7 months. And so we have those pitfalls to go over. And we had contracts to look at, a few of them that are quickly to be looked at quickly. And today I started very early with meetings. Right now I'm putting together a team. So I'm working with the NEC members to put together a good team to work for us. And we are currently doing that. We are having meetings end to end. Before I came here, I had another meeting to do stuff. We meet with prospective sponsors who are saying, hey, we want to do this, we want to do that. And we're looking at the next couple of days. And on Wednesday, we'll have our first formal NEC meeting at the Goal Project, at what we shall call FKF House. Our first one on Wednesday. We are preparing now for that meeting today and tomorrow. And there are quick things to be sorted out. As you know, our league needs to start. The other leagues below the Premier League have not started.
Yes.
And they have to start by 1st of March or thereabouts. So there's a lot of work cut out to get that done. And we're going to make decisions on Wednesday to make that be done.
You've just preempted my next question, which was on the leagues. And FKFPL, I believe we call it our top tier league now FKFPL. What do we call the lower tier league? What used to be FKFPL?
We are making proposals to the NEC on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We want to have a national Super League and a national Division 1 and reorganize it. Those proposals are with NEC, and today I just in the meeting they're looking at it. Then we have the Premier League, of course. And so in another 2 days, we'll have concrete news for the next 20 years. One of the biggest problems we've had is just not knowing who will get promoted, who will get demoted. Simple, basic things we couldn't get done. this Wednesday, you will know who goes up, who goes down, how many, and when. Simple things you never knew for the last 4 years. Looks basic when you watch the EPL when Wahiga is presenting here.
Yes.
Simple things that we haven't got done. The mode in which you'll be promoted, the mode in which you will be demoted, how many teams will be there for the next 20 or whatever years beyond Nick Mwendwa. You will know that
some teams already. I was told to ask the president what happened to finishing the FKFPL. Did it end with the tribunal, that once the tribunal made a decision that this is it, Posta and Kakamega Homeboys are guaranteed, the likes of Zukericho who are prospecting to come into the top tier league, forget about that and lick your wounds, start afresh?
The tribunal was a decision, and by the way, going forward, we shall, as people in football, avoid going to tribunals and courts as much as possible. We shall seek to agree internally before you ever went there. But yes, that decision was a marker, correct? But also that today is so late in Feb to have a conversation. Thirdly, the 4 teams that won, that were number 1 to 4 in the FKFPL were never going to change, even if we repeated those matches. And therefore, you need to be sensible and say, look, are we going to start going stuff of last year or look forward to the future? I think we choose to move forward.
Are we including the 3 and 4 in KPL?
We have, and this is a big question that's coming up again. Everywhere I go now, as you know, I've been doing a blitz across the media just to tell people where we are. And we have said this, Mike. The Kenya Premier League Limited is the league, is a company recognized to run our top tier league. It's no longer in question. That's laid to rest. That's 1. 2, the sponsors, SportPesa and SuperSport, for pay TV and title sponsor, are the recognized sponsors of that league as per their contract. It's no longer controversial. That's what it is. We're not going to discuss. That's finished. Thirdly, referees. There were not given FIFA referees. There were some stories. I agreed with them on Friday. From now to appoint their best FIFA referees immediately. All right? Anything else they need to liaise with the CEO, to liaise with me, get it done as their rights supposed to be. We are then only asking for one thing from the Premier League. We are saying, because we have considered you, because we are laying these things to rest, because we want now to be one team, not 2 teams, consider us and have the 2 more teams we need to make that league 18. That's all we're asking for from that league. Of course, that means we need more money. And we have made the proposals to them, and we're waiting for them to come back to us. So it's good to be clear what we have requested them from their side. No MOUs, no stories, no letters. It's a conversation. It's a new beginning, Mike. Let's start now. Let's start by showing we can work together. Let's start by saying you have got 9 items done. We are asking for 1 item, and we're saying consider it, come back to us, let's see if we can work together.
Before I go into Harambee Stars, I want to throw it to Wahiga. I know there are burning questions on that side. Harambee Stars, put it aside, the national teams, we'll tackle the national teams in the second part of the show. The burning questions, Wahiga.
That's right, Mike. Very quickly, I'll start with social media, where we're getting lots and lots of feedback here. Nathan says, Nick Mwendwa can take our football far. Congratulations, Wamusi, and all the best.
Thank you.
Owidi Collins saying, he speaks too much. And he's a know-it-all guy. He cannot achieve much. So that's another perspective there. And Nicholas Mudhui saying, let's wait to hear what Mr. President Mwenyewe has to say. Now, they say that the wearer of the shoe is the one who knows how much it pinches. And we've got footballers here, former, current, and potentially future as well. And we're going to start with Mr. Mohammed. Introduce yourself, the federation or the group that you represent, and your quick question to Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President. First of all, let me take this opportunity on behalf of all street soccer players and the country to congratulate you. It was wonderful for you to win the presidency. Now my question is that since I'm in charge of street soccer, is it possible for, unlike the previous regime where street soccer was never recognized, or it was never integrated as part of the elite football, will you be able to accommodate us and try to integrate the street soccer as a football fraternity?
street football.
Do you want me to respond?
I think we can take 2 questions.
Okay.
And then in response to 2
Second
questions.
question on that other end. Go ahead.
Vipi Nick?
Popo.
Simon Mulama is my name, former player. Number one, first have to congratulate you for being the president, getting elected. Question is, and I'll try to give 2 or 3 illustrations, what kind of leadership do we expect from you? Number one, considering that previous offices we've seen people doing favors to guys who voted them in. Illustration number one, we have teams that came to the Nationwide League, never played the leagues below that, but then we just saw them in the Nationwide League. So number two, we've seen guys in the office, in the federation, saying because I'm the president or because I'm the SG or the CEO, I have a player from Machakos or from Kakamega, he's a good player, he's a son of my brother, could you kindly include him in the team? And thirdly, the president himself saying, I know this and this kind of players, they need to be in the national team. Are we going to see you delegate more, or more of having it on a hands-on basis and saying, even the national team, I'll be part of the team that will be selecting the national team and dropping players from the national team?
Okay, let me start with you, Wahiga. Many people have watched your social media and they're saying we're speaking a lot. Our game has been in a very bad shape. So many things need to be explained, and that's why I'm speaking. Alright, I need to be very clear. I'm speaking because so many things are a mystery. Since I came in on Friday, I myself have found out things I never knew, and I've been close to it. So we need to explain ourselves and be open. Now some people think we talk a lot, but that's okay because it's their say. We shall talk, watch us in the next 8 years and make up your mind whether we can do the job as well. That's one. Two, World Street Soccer. Not just World Street Soccer, anyone who has a football initiative no longer needs to run away from the association now. I met with Moha just behind the studio, and I've known Moha to be on this program for many years because I knew where it came from, and I said, come to us tomorrow so that we can recognize your initiative and you proceed with it together. We're not asking for anything. We're just saying we'll give you a letter and a certificate recognizing your initiative, because if you don't know if you don't do what you're doing, how do we grow the game? Because we can't do what you're doing. Our job is to regulate and develop the game. You're developing the game. Our job is to enable you move forward. And so not just you, but anyone else, we shall look at what you're doing so long as it's within the rules, and we shall recognize you and see what your future looks like to grow the game. Coming to Simon, you know, every leader has a way in which they lead. My effective way is to lead from the front so that others can follow my example whenever I can. We cannot be perfect. We shall not be perfect. But I promise you something. We're going to have good professionals working with us. Good professionals. People who pulled off the private sector to come and work with us. Of course, we're going to have a number of people who worked with us in the campaign also working with us, because we have relationships with them, because we believe that they can get the job done. So we will be fair in distributing this. With the national team, Simon, you've been there. National team requires 20 players, Mike. There are 70,000 of them. Now, how possible is it that, in my opinion, and your opinion, we can choose the best player? It is up to the coach and the staff to find the players that they find best in their opinion. Because it's not possible that they will select the players that are best for everybody, that everybody finds them best. But if they can deliver results to those players, then we shall allow them to do that job. So yes, I will get involved. I cannot say I will not get involved. I will get involved. There are certain things that cannot happen under my watch. We cannot have players running off camp and doing funny things. Those are things we have to put from the president, have to put in order. But we shall give a job to a youthful team. Expect a youthful team, Simon, from the bench onwards to the players, because the future is in the young players. And so I think it's important for you to understand that.
Let me ask a question here, and I feel Denson Amache, I think this is a question that is also very pertinent. Mr. Mwendwa, you are the president of the Football Kenya Federation. Also, you are the chairman at one point of Kariobangi Sharks. What's your relationship now with Kariobangi Sharks? Will you still be involved with the club?
I became president of the federation because I was chairman of Kariobangi Sharks. Kariobangi Sharks will not cease to be my club, but I am then proceeding first to declare my interest and say, I have been, not only me, but many of our NEC members and other people, because for you to be in the game,
yes,
you need to have a club.
Yes.
But then now, from now, the Kariobangi Sharks has a new chairman. All right? Kariobangi Sharks has a new set of officials. I cannot naturally then cease to have an affiliation with that club. And many presidents around the world have an affiliation with the club, but it's being handed over now to a set of new officials, a new team to run it.
Okay.
Wahiga, back to you there.
That's right. I'm told it's almost time to take a break, but one message I'm thinking that I want to ask you. I know you had a chance over the last 2 days to meet the Deputy President.
Yes.
And people are asking you the promise of the Jubilee government to revive or to start 5 stadia. Are you going to follow that up, and how are you going to do it? Because these are the people who need those stadiums.
I already did, Wahiga, because if you see this ball that I brought you, this is the Deputy President's signature. And I asked him about the stadia when we met, and government is very happy for us to walk to them now and have those conversations. Remember, Cup of Nations local is coming here in 2018. Local organizing committee, which I am chairman, is going to kick off in the next 2 weeks, and government is part of that. And one of the undertakings they've made is that we shall have stadia that befit that occasion.
Even as we take a break, because I know we need to very quickly. Allegations, Mr. President.
Many of them.
Many allegations.
Yes.
Did you in any way reward delegates that voted for you, Mr.
No,
President?
I never did.
So you did nothing for them at all? Did not host them, did not feed them, did not take care of them?
Over the course of a campaign, there's a reason why you need funds. Why do you need funds? You're going to go to Malindi. You're going to go to Kakamega. You're going to hire a hall. You're going to do so many things, buy food, do all those things.
How much did you spend?
How much I spend? Not on national TV. That's not going to happen.
Do you want a refund of that money? Because that is
a refund? From who?
From the Federation.
Wahiga, I've been running my club for 14 years. I have well spent a lot of money doing so. Haven't seen a refund yet. When I went into this because I couldn't run that club in the way that should be run because of leadership. I am not here to look to be refunded. I am here to create new opportunities for Kenya, to create a new way, to bring the optimism you have seen, Wahiga, not to think about refunds. And so Wahiga, I'm not bothered or thinking about those kind of things. It's a new day, Wahiga, as you've seen, and I think that's why I'm here today.
All right, as we close, we're going to a break. Now that you brought up that issue, many of your friends, your colleagues on the campaign and everything, team change swept the whole board.
Big team change.
Big team change.
Yes.
Correction. Big team change.
Yes.
You swept the board.
Yes.
You're sitting in the board right now.
Yes.
How do you delink from this is work to be done, campaign is over? Guys, roll up your sleeves. How do we delink that camaraderie of campaign and you're my boy, we hang out together, and guys, ndimu lazima ipangwe?
Tayari Mike took a job. And we have done a lot in these few days. A lot trying to figure out what's going on, trying to talk up to new partners, trying to organize the team change. I want to tell you that for team change, we want to make everybody in the game who was supporting us or not supporting us, we want to make them team change because we need them. So the job still continues. And I'll tell you this, the political spirit has to continue so we can sell our agenda. However, we must give the job to competent people. We must be very clear about our agenda. We must know that in few days we are going to Guinea-Bissau and back. We must know that in few days we need to have an agenda up of this football going out there. We must know that we have a goal project to fix. We must know that all this, and they know this. All right? So we already at it. I want to tell you, Mike, because you are aware that all 10 members of our team won. All 10 of them. For you to do that, you must have good leadership. If you don't lead well, in the last 4 federations, no team ever won all 6 as one team. Now,
It was Madoadoa.
It was Madoadoa, and that was the problem. Because then you start fighting the next day. We're not going to have that. We are one team. That helps Kenyans. We have one vision, one view of things. And now the teams are starting to go into their competencies. And in the next 1 week, you will start seeing that by work being done.
Well, break, Waiga.
That's right, and then Banandong has positioned himself appropriately. Remember, it's one day after Valentine's. I don't know what he's thinking. Siku iliisha, but bado amejiposition before. Andong, take it away.
Waiga, I'll come back to you later. Ideal, of course. 1-0 up. 1-0 up. Second half coming up, Waiga. Well, we'll be taking our break in just a moment, but it's important for us just to appreciate the lady who's joined us this afternoon, and she's called DJ Redbone. Just tell us about your history in DJing. You've been doing it for a while. How's it been?
It's been challenging, but I just love every step of the journey. It's been 7 years this year.
7 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What made you take up the decks?
There's one time I had a remix by John Falme, and he said I must learn to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I went to the DJ school.
Okay. Jina yako ya kitambulisho, najua ukitaka kwenda kufanya maybe a mobile money transaction. Najua usemangi Redbone. What are your names?
My name is Grace Nyambura Kaburu.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Of course, just leave us with the mix. First half has been very insightful, very intriguing, very informative, and we'll be taking a break. You know, in football, there's first half, there's second half. It's time for us to take a water break, and before we go, we'll leave you with just a few mixes from DJ Redbone. Thank you.
Ilianza na kaselfie, double tap. Niko na DVT, double tap. Akapiga screenshots ya like, double tap. Pia mimi nika like, double tap. Ilianza na kaselfie, double tap. Niko na DVT, double tap. Akapiga screenshots ya like, double tap. Pia mimi nika like, double tap. Ilianza na daddy, the girls them love me, love me, love me. They call me sugar, they call me daddy. The girls them love me, love me, love me. The guys them love me, the girls them love me, love me, love me. The guys them love me, the girls them love me, love me, love me. Oh, they gotta call me.
Of course, welcome back to the Monday Football Show. And remember, this afternoon we're honored to have the president of the Football Kenya Federation, Mr. Nick Mwendwa. We had a very insightful discussion the first half of the show, and that discussion will be continuing in just a moment. But let's take a look at international football, where Arsenal reaffirmed their title hopes with a slim 2-1 victory over Leicester at the Emirates, as Danny Welbeck made a resounding return, scoring the winning goal.
To hit for Leicester City, Jamie Vardy belts it in and keeps on dreaming. Space for Bellerin, aimed in at Giroud. Walcott! Arsenal with an extra man need this. Ozil clips it in. Welbeck! There's your fairy tale. Danny Welbeck back and scoring the most.
Divock Origi was one of Liverpool's 6 scorers as the Reds obliterated Aston Villa by 6 goals to 0.
In from Milner, it's a good delivery which bypasses everybody. What they were up against, and they'll take away from this the fact that they've had 6 different goal scorers and scored some good ones. Yeah, they've scored some good goals. I mean, they've not had to work awfully hard for them. It was the 3rd and 4th goal there. Villa have the ball and they give it away, and it's just so easy. I mean, it's messy, and I don't know, as a Villa player, how do you pick yourself up from that? And it's a tough job for the manager now. And
yes, we are back with the president. Tell me about this ball. You are giving it very insightful stuff about it.
This ball is for play on rugged surfaces. In the rain, in sunshine, you know our pitches the way they are. It can last 3 years and you don't pump it. All right?
Yep.
It's a project by General Motors through the Chevrolet brand. and 5,700 balls were given. We gave them on Friday.
Yes.
And that's where you know that there are 22,000 primary schools. Each of them that needs 5 of this every year.
22,000.
All right?
Yep.
So for schools alone, we need 100,000 every year.
100,000 balls.
Every year. For clubs, we also have 6,000 clubs. We need another 100,000 because they use more balls.
Yes.
Because our pitches are a problem. This ball is so special. You need it because then you don't spend a lot. One of the problems when you have a club, you spend a lot every month buying balls. With this ball, you don't need to do that because you have little resources. You can put them elsewhere. Just one of the small initiatives that we are doing with the secondary schools and primary schools. And I've said that this federation is a youth-centric federation. You're going to start seeing very young players, very young coaches, very young referees coming through the system that are reminiscent to myself.
Okay.
You know, you're going to start seeing that, Mike. Prepare yourself. And one thing with youth, Mike, is that I was told by somebody is that when you're coaching youth, you're not looking for results. As opposed to when you're coaching senior teams, you're looking to see if they're going to be developed. And that's what we'll be doing in the next couple of years.
Now, Harambee Stars, the last time out was a big shame when you're going to play in Cape Verde. We risked the lives of the players in that plane. They arrived barely 2 hours before the game. They put in a performance which we said, good stuff. And you promised in your campaigns that this will be a thing of the past. We'll have a new look Harambee Stars and things will be different. March is 2 weeks away. And we are going to play away.
Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau. What are the changes that we should expect in Harambee Stars, if any?
Immediately on Friday, I had a chat with the ministry. And just to put in perspective of the job that we have, in the calendar of events, we're not just looking at Harambee Stars, Mike. We're looking at under 17, under 20, and the Starlets.
Okay.
We have again.
Starlets being women football.
Yes, women football. So we have home and away for Harambee Stars. We then have under 17 coming up. Then we have AFCON qualifiers, Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, for the Starlets in end of March, starting April. The job is big. Now, we were looking at a calendar for the whole year. The budget expected, Mike, is 350 million shillings for the events of this year. Not just senior Harambee Stars, but for all the teams. And these are serious qualifiers and matches. Under 17, which we must do. Under 20, which we must do. The Starlets, Cup of Nations qualifiers, which we must do. And Harambee Stars. 350 million shillings is the bare bone budget.
What do you have now?
Without diving into it.
Yes.
Okay, what do we have now?
Yes.
Let me give you a picture. At the Federation, in a quick snapshot, we'll get a report in 2 days, we have 0 cents in the bank. 0, Mike.
Account your Federation haina shilingi.
0 cents in the bank.
Is that a surprise to you?
Not a surprise at all. Further, we have people that are demanding payments from us. So I have asked for the analysis, and the NEC will be looking at it on Wednesday. It's a huge task, but I had a chat with the minister and said for the coming 3-4 months, they have to underwrite us, and they have told me, Nick, bring the budget quickly. We shall follow up with them, and their promise, we shall scream to the top of our voices, and we shall give Harambee Stars. Our plan is this week to book the flight to Guinea-Bissau, so we get cheaper rates.
Yes.
Our plan is this week to know Arnold Origi is coming. Can we book him for this date on a Sunday to fly in and have good sleep so we can travel together to Guinea-Bissau? Or can we send him? So we're looking at those things already, and there's a team looking at it. It's a big job, but I have said that is the past. That is the work cut out for us. We have a plan. We are talking to, even from here, I'm meeting a partner that is willing to look at this. We cannot guarantee. We'll fight with it and make sure our stars no longer have to have the shame they've had.
That is on the budget side.
Yes.
On the team itself, the look.
Yes.
I think we have former Harambee Stars players here. I'm seeing Tito, I'm seeing Simon, I'm seeing Situma. Yes. They will attest to the fact that at times you're better off staying at the club than going for the national team.
Yes.
Because number one, the conditions of the national team, the camping facilities are not there. You're looking at, you're going to play, I've traveled with the team before, and at times it's embarrassing that you're at a tournament, for example, and when it's meal times and the coach says we have to have a meal together, I will come in my Adidas t-shirt, somebody else has Nike, another one has Puma. On the outlook of the Harambee Stars, what is the plan? What is our official kit provider?
Mike, from Friday,
yes,
I've heard about, I want to qualify, heard about 3 contracts.
Yes.
For kit provider.
One is Kelme.
Kelme, and the story about Kelme.
The other one is Joma.
Joma.
Which is the third one?
There is another one. All right? Now, what I'm saying is this. We have to make good decisions. We can't have those decisions. We can't have those decisions done in a month.
Yeah.
We'll have a kit provider. We'll have replica shirts that are sold officially in official shops. Within 2 months, that will be done. For now, the team will be kitted properly. Not that you will have a jersey of Harambee Stars, the official one, but for now, for going there, is making sure the team is kitted properly, and even when they're warming up and when they're sleeping in the hotel, all that is done in an orderly way. We need 2 things. One, we need to be very organized, extremely organized. The bus must pick up the team in time. The players must sleep in time. The players must go together all the time. The course must be made. We must have a schedule, and I have a team already that we're looking at those things, and we need money. And so we're looking for the money and being organized.
Okay.
And we think this will be a thing of the past.
Waiga?
We have lots and lots of questions, little time, so I'll plead with our panel, just one short question from each of you. We'll start with Simon, go to Ronnie, and then Doreen at the corner will also ask. They're asking different questions regarding the parts of football that they're involved in. We can start with you.
So we take two questions.
Can we try 3 in the interest of time?
Can handle 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
The man says is ready.
Okay, Titus Mulama, former international. Currently working with the youth. From within in the counties. My question is, we have had our youth centers, they are not functional anymore, from the junior level to the youth level. What is your office planning to do about this, 1? And 2, the coaches involved. We've had cases where we have had sub-coaching courses which are too expensive for the coaches, for the young kids. What is the federation going to do about it, so to make it affordable enough, so that these young ones, these coaches are empowered, 1, and 2, they are coached in the right way.
All right, I'll interrupt and actually take it straight to Situma, who is not a former Harambee Stars player, actually a current Harambee Stars player. There's a burning question that he had, and then Doreen will come to you.
Okay, first of all, congratulations, Mr. President. Nadhani kazi imeanza sahi, tushaacha kusherekea. Okay, mimi nitaongea Kiswahili ili ni expression yangu ikuwe poa.
Endelea hivyo.
I think nitaongea kuhusu players, Kenyan Premier League players ama players general. Unapata kila mwaka we have watu wanakuja on board. Tulikuwa na KBL ikaenda kwa kuja na SportPesa, kuna Super Sport, kuna pia hizi TV rights. Kila time tunaona launch, pesa iko mzuri, lakini unapata all the same players wanaumia, hakuna mshahara, na unapata the federation yenye imekuwa unapata kila kitu ilikuwa quiet, kila kitu ilikuwa normal, na tunajua kwamba hizo vitu zote zinakuja juu ya players. So unapata tunatarajia kwamba kama kuna kitu ina increase side nyingine, pia tunatarajia pia players pia kitu yao iko sawa. So as a president, sijui hilo swali utalichukulia kivipi?
Haraka haraka, Doreen with the last question. Bwana President, so far you've got the first 2.
Yeah, youth and players.
Well, congratulations first of all, Mr. President. On behalf of women football, I would like to say first of all that we are very, very optimistic that things are going to change. We've been craving for this for a very, very long time, and a lot of girls out there are positive that things are going to change in their favor. So I would like, okay, you've talked about starlets, you've talked about the national teams, under 17 and under 20 and the senior teams. I would like you to consider also girls under 17 and also under 20. If you walk around and visit these high schools, you will see what I'm talking about. Great potential. And always after high school, they disappear, and that's because there's no chance, there's nothing to look up to. And then now my question would be, okay, besides what comes in from FIFA for women football development, Are there any sponsors that you're going to bring in our favor, on our side?
There we go.
Can I take that?
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Titus, in 2004, I marveled watching Titus scoring the goal, Cup of Nations. These are guys that are special. Titus, for youth development, that is, I said we are a youth-centric federation. That's our biggest agenda. Yesterday, I was at Camp Toyoyo for a school tournament of Fafajoriko versus Jogoo Road, and therefore we're going to be very big in that Titus. How are we going to be big? We're going to have a youth director, very experienced, very knowledgeable, who will coordinate coaching of trainers so that the coaches handling the kids know how to do it. Coordinated in a system where we know, going up, how are we going to be prepared? What kind of kids qualities do we need in the national team later on so we can grow? You've heard me talk about 313 teams this year. We're already underway, including your team. You're going to register it, and my team and other teams, and then we will facilitate your coaching through the efforts of this youth director so we can move forward. So we're going to be big and very big enough. For players, Situma, is that I've had this call many times. I run a club myself, as you know, and we pay salaries. It's hard. But what we're going to do is this from next year. If you're a Premier League club, you will be issued an annual license. So we'll have to give you a thumbs up to say you're good to go every year. By doing what? You will present to us your management account, and we will present to us your guarantees of your sponsors, so that we are sure you can pay your players, not just pay your players, Situma. There's no point paying players and not being able to see the cost through. So that's what we'll do for that. For women football, we have a big plan.
Mr. President, on that point, we've had it said that the government would like minimum wages for workers across the country. Can you institute minimum wages for players in the KPL?
We will have, and this is, I'm saying 2017.
Or 2017.
Because we need to plan minimum wage.
How much?
And not just minimum wage,
but a cap.
Mahiga, but also a top cap. Because the problem in many clubs is that the wage bill is too big. So they can't afford Situma. They spend a lot to get him, but they can't afford it. They have a wage bill which they can't meet. So every month, when the date of paying comes, they're scratching their heads. So it's a two-way problem, and we're going to propose, not only myself, we want the clubs to agree on a minimum wage and an upper cap for those salaries. Coming to women, we will have, and we have already, and Doris Petra is working on this, Women Premier League is now going to be structured and the same, running in the same calendar as the Men's Premier League and the Division 1. And down here, we're going to have the young teams in the schools as the boys are doing. Remember, in those primary schools I've talked about, there are many girls also. We have to acknowledge, however, Doreen, that there's a special issue around women, that when they get to a certain age, it's a challenge, getting them through. But we will do our best so the best that come through are propelled. Remember, there's going to be many players, just like men, but only few get there. So we need to bear that in mind.
No, absolutely. Of course, a lot of feedback coming in quick and fast in regards to our discussion this afternoon. We are hosting the President of Football Kenya Federation, Mr. Nick Mwendwa, and Mr. Jacob is here, of course, one of our colleagues at Royal Media Services. He states that coaches and players' contracts have been a joke in the KPL. What do we expect? And this is another gentleman here. This is Shadrach Simiu is asking a pertinent question. He talked about big budgets. He's asking where will this money come from? Hii sasa hii pesa zitatoka wapi? We have another response here. This is Mugo Munene Mugo, who is asking about your members of Team Change. And then this is another view here. This is a lady. This is Liz Wanjiko. She says that the strategic plan that you have, she's asking about your strategic plan. And now that you're the new president, but she also lauds you and says that you're quite energetic. And then we have another one here. This is somebody who is raised as a very interesting question here. He says, this is Atmbash, who says that kindly change the name of Harambee Stars. I believe this is heritage. He says that it has connotations to the previous administration. So he's saying the name to be changed. And then somebody's asking here as well as far as your position. He's saying that will you be working with Sam Sholei? And so far, very interesting insights. Maybe I can also bring in Mkala Mwabotse. He's, of course, one of our colleagues here at Royal Media Services from Bahari FM. Mkala Mwabotse, je, maoni yako ni yapi kuhusiana na kuapishwa kwa rais mpya wa shirikisho la kandanda nchini?
Kwanza pongezi, manake alipokuja hapa ni kitu kama mwanahabari siwezi kukitamka, lakini alipokuja kwenye hichi kikao kwa mahojiano mara kama 2 nilijua atashinda tu, sababu
ulikuwa na utabiri.
Waniaji wengine niliona tu
Mkala alikuwa na swali ngumu sana hapa
cha maana alichokuwa anafanya. Lakini Nick Mwendwa, kitu cha kwanza ni kwamba Gor na Bandari hawajafanya vizuri katika mechi zilizopita, na ni kwa sababu moja, kalenda yetu ya mpira na ya mataifa mengine ni vitu vili tofauti. Wakati wale wa Sentelwa Lupopo wako active katika ligi yao, sisi ilikuwa ndio bado tunajenga msimu. Kwa hivyo lazima ilituathiri. Bandari wanalalamika kuna player mmoja alicheza chana, alipoingia aliwahangaisha kwa sababu alikuwa iko active zaidi kuliko wao. Sasa tunafikiriaje kalenda yetu kuiwanisha na hizi kalenda za ligi nyingine? Alafu kuna pia mashabiki. Watu wanasema nguvu ya maji ni mawe. Kwa hivyo mawe ni hawa mashabiki. Mashabiki wamepungua sana katika viwanja vyetu. Lakini ukiangalia kwenye mikahawa na mabanda huku ya kuangalia DSTV watu wameshona sana. Sasa sijui kama mwenyekiti utafanya vipi kuhakikisha mashabiki wanarudi tena viwanjani na bila kusukumwa kwa hiari yao. Utatengeneza jopo labda la kuchunguza sababu nini na vitu kama vile, hilo ni lako. Katika shirikisho lako la soka wewe ni mwenyekiti, huna katibu, huna mweka hazina. Kwa hivyo Nyamwea alikuwa kwa kizunguka, pesa zikitakikana paka Nyamwea TSN ndio zinatoka. Mkutano ukiitwa paka Nyamwea aidhinishe mkutano uitwe. Sasa sijui wewe utafikiriaje kuhusiana na katiba hii kubadilisha ili haya mambo yawe sawa sawa. Mwisho tu, sakata boli ilikuwa ianze, Coca-Cola ilichezwa, lakini pesa zilikuwa zishaingia akaunti fulani, kidogo zikaenda kwenye mashindano. Lakini haya ndio mashindano yaliyoinua vipaji, lakini yakafa. Unaona? Alafu kabla uchaguzi mkasema katiba yenu mtawianisha na zile za county, badala ya kuwa na sub branch kuwe na county branch. Sasa hivi vitu vyote vifikirie, tujibie tu.
Tunde pamoja Mkala.
Safi.
Ya kwanza ni kalenda. Hatungebadilisha kalenda kuja ofisi siku 5 zilizopita. Tumesikiza mambo ya kalenda miaka 3, tutakaa na washikadau wote mwezi wa 6 tuangalie nini chawezekana. Lakini nataka kusema hivi, Gor Mahia na Bandari hawajapoteza peke yake kwa sababu ya kalenda. Ukiangalia ile timu ya Snap, wale vijana walikuwa wanacheza football. Sisi tunawaangalia wakicheza. Technically, although wako na bajeti ya chini Mkala, walikuwa juu yetu. Tukubaliana hivyo. Kwa hivyo tunahitaji nini? Again, youth kwa Titus Mulaba. Tuanze kuwajenga, ndio tuwalete wale wachanga wanaokuwa na tekniki ya kucheza football. Hiyo ndio solution ya hiyo shida iliyokuwa weekend. Hii iliyokwenda kule Bandari wameniambia hivi. Wameniambia uwanja ulikuwa na watu 30,000. Uwanja Lupopo versus Bandari ulikuwa na watu 30,000. Fan intimidation yenyewe ilikuwa mbaya zaidi. Kwa hivyo kuja kwa point yako ya pili ya fans, ni lazima sisi sasa tufanye mambo yanayoleta fans kwa kiwanja. Kufanya vitu exciting, kukuwa na sponsors, kukuwa tunaleta safety, ndio unaweza kuona na mtoto wako kwa kiwanja. Haitakuwa mara moja, lakini baada ya miaka 3 Mkala, na hope naweza kuja hapa nikasema tuko na watu 30,000 game ya Champions League. Ita take time kwa watu kutuamini, ni mambo ya imani. Okay? Hii mambo nyingine umesema mambo ya kubeba checkbook na mambo kama hayo. Siku zijazo nitakwenda FIFA na nikirudi Mkala utaona watu na utaniuliza maswali tena, utawauliza wao.
Wow. Okay. My director is telling me that time is almost up. The questions, Mike, there are so many, even on social media. What I'll do, because our panel came all the way to be here with us today, I'll give 3 of them the chance to speak, and then I know Mike has a surprise for our president, which he'll be unveiling in just a bit. President Ajui. So, Frank,
one question, yeah?
You have some interesting questions for our president. You want to test his football knowledge. Frank from KPL, John Kianda from Hot 96, and we have the youngest member of our panel today. Nasikia pia yeye ako na swali. Tuanze na Frank. Go ahead and just express issues of the FKF Premier League, the previous one, because now the name has changed.
Okay, as of now, if I'm to share the experience, last year FKF Premier League, we'll see that the legal aspect of the game has been neglected ever since, you know. Soccer administrators have a notion that utadu, you see, and the players, on the other hand, have a notion that siezi do. This is why this is evidently in the signing of contract. In some unaenda club una sign a contract ile ina run till next year June. Alafu umesign kama mwezi wa 7, ikifika mwezi wa 8 new coach anakuja, it's a new wave, you know, and wave ikikuja ni must kuna change. So what he does, pia wewe na ulineo contract yako, you're out, you see. So players hatujui wapi tutaenda. Then ukitaka tuenda see for good, umedrop from your team, unataka kwenda kujoin another team, so you must go an official letter from your club uende club ingine. So what they do, they will come and tell you, go and drop your case from your club, ndio kupatia your letter. What's that, you see? It's so, alafu unajua you have other issues to run, you see. Like for myself, maybe I'm a scholar and I'm a soccer player, so if I see there's no future in football, I have no business doing in football. No.
Good.
So,
I can see the questions can keep coming. Mike, do you want him to tackle that, or we take Kian?
Yes, you can tackle that first, Mr. President.
For players and contracts, I'll give a good example. I run a club, Kariobangi Sharks. The players normally would sign 2 to 3 years, 4 years, depending on their age. And there will be an exit clause in that contract. The problem is that we don't have education, contractual education and representation for our players. We educate them and we get representation. Sadly, no longer will a club drop a player. And if they do, I'm sorry, they will pay for it. Alright? The same thing at the national office. If I drop a coach, there is a contract, I have to pay. We just need this culture of pay. If I want to get you out, I can get you out, but I have to pay for it. So I have to choose, do I want to pay or keep the player? That has been the issue that has not been reinforced. The problem is, then I come and tell you that you have to go without you have no recourse, and no one follows up. In our administration starting today, no one, and if it happens, walk straight to FKF House with your contract and the representative, and we shall sort it out immediately. It's not something to discuss. If you have a contract, they have to honor it. If they don't honor it, then if there's an exit clause, we'll look at it and it's fulfilled. So it's upon you to make sure the exit clause is a good one for the player.
Thank you. So of course, FKF players, KPL players, all of you watching, you've heard it from Mr. President himself. Kama kuna shida, FKF House, the doors are open. Go with your representative and your contract, and you should be sorted. John Kianda, very quickly.
Nika lingia hapa akasema tulimroast sana, lakini ka David angepitia kwa wilderness angekuwa king. So congratulations ba. So asikuroast. Na kuuliza tu swali. So umesema mna need 350 million kuran kila kitu. Events za this year. Basically accounts ya Football Kenya Federation haina hata bob. Don't you think kwa sababu ya accountability na vile show ilianza, Mike alikuuliza una relate aje na huyu jamaa, amesema mliwork pamoja nini? Don't you think kuna watu lazima visit corridors za justice kwa sababu ya kukosa accountability na wase kukosa kwenda 7 months bila kulipwa? Ndio hii timu yako ambayo iko saizi, mtu akijaribu kufikiria the same mistake, kufanya the same thing, atajua hapa ni moto ya kuote mbali. Are we going to see very soon tunaenda kuona watu wakianza kuvisit koti hapa na pale, tukimbia kukava hizo stories?
John, right now naangalia, ushawaona mtu akiwa ICU akianza kubreathe, munaweza think. Saizi niko kwa ICU nafikiria kwanza ni breathe. Nikisha breathe, then nitakuwa na clear mind ya kufikiria hizo vitu za justice. But I agree with you, kama mtu alifanya kitu mbaya na haifai, inafaa iangaliwe. Tutaangalia hayo tukishajiamka, tuko alive. Sasa tuko dead. John, tukiwa dead tuamke kwanza, tu survive. Tukisha survive, to put something in place, then tutaangalia uniform ya Kelme iko wapi, then tutaangalia
ya Joma,
tutaangalia iko wapi. Lakini pia sisi si government, John, sisi ni watu wa football. The most we can do ni kukutoa kwa football. Beyond that really.
So unajua mazao kusema kutoa, walishatoka. So sahi lazima wa account. Ndio ukienda kwa Mr. Wario mwambie nataka 350, atakwambia okay, hii 350 million nataka kupatia, uta account for it. Lakini kuna watu walikuwa pale before walikosa, na wewe ndio uko pale sahi. So hata sponsor akiona hivyo atakuwa na interest.
Tayari John, ministry imeniuliza ni account for what was done kwa ile maneno ya Harambee Stars tayari. Kwa hivyo hilo swali mnasema lishafanyika, lakini nasema hivi, mimi kwangu saa hizi nataka kuamsha ball. Then haya maneno kwa sababu ni mengi John, sio moja vile unavyojua. MPN Silva, Joma, nini ni mengi sana. Nikishapeleka timu Guinea Bissau na iko kwa ndege na imefanya vizuri na imetulia na imeenda ikarudi, then naweza uliza mtu auditor atu advice. The only thing we can do ni ku advise government. Haya ndio mambo yalifanyika hivi kulingana na sisi, then they can take it up from there. It's a maximum we can do, because pia ukiangalia plate yetu imejaa. Kwa hivyo mambo ya kwenda kotini na nini pia naona itakuwa baadaye.
There's a follow-up question to that, but I want to give a young man who is the future of Kenyan football. Nick Mwenda, I want you to look at this boy, because he's depending on you to fix the space, so that when he's able to play professional, the structures are ready. Go ahead, young man.
Nimeshukuru sana umekuwa president wa Kenya Federation. Lakini nilikuwa nataka kukuuliza, ulikuwa ushajibu. Lakini nilikuwa nataka tu kukuambia ni wewe peke yako unaweza ka develop hiyo Kenya Youth program, na hiyo youth program ndio future life yetu.
Asante. Tutaidevelop na tuko na commitment ya kuidevelop. Tumesema hiyo ndio jambo kubwa sasa kwetu kwa federation, na tutajaribu watoto wote wa Kenya wacheze ball ndio tuweze kupata talent.
We've got president wa KEFWA footballers.
Yes,
he's been writing notes. Ameandika notes tangu tuanze. Hii nataka kujua umekuwa Van Gaal sasa, unaandika notes zile game ikiisha unazitupa.
Uliza moja, nimekupatia nafasi.
Niko na issue.
Haya.
Kuna hii tribunal ya KPL. Tribunal of which imeformiwa tu na the chairman bado. Of which mina feel imekuwa biased na decisions zile wachezaji wamekuwa kipeleka. Before it was free. Na since ninge in office nimekuwa nikipeleka makisuko kadhaa. But side this year wameka 10,000 fee ya kufile case. Of which mimi naona kama mchezaji tuseme kama ni Wasofapaka ameka 7 months hajalipwa mshahara, unamutia 10,000 through KEFWA ya file kesi. Hizi kwa KEFWA pia ziko na challenges pia za pesa, utazaji kuhandle hiyo, cause mimi na feel hii tribunal inafaa kuwa at least isikuwe unilateral. At least all aspects of administration zote za football ziko included pale. Kama ni players representative akuwe pale, of which itakuwa from KEFWA. Kama ni kuna referees from the Referees Association, kutakuwa na moja hapo.
Thank you.
At least pia kwa from the Coaches Association pia kuwe.
Thank you.
Okay.
And from representative of KPL na pia from the federation, and one more maybe chairman akuwe independent.
Innocent.
At least decisions inaweza kuwa
Innocent. The Kenya Premier League haitafanya hiyo kazi. Umesema hiyo ni kazi ya shirikisho, unaelewa? Na kutakuwa na komiti ya kuenda na kuripoti kesi kama hizo Innocent katika shirikisho, si katika ligi zote, katika shirikisho. Na hiyo komiti itakuwa composed vile inavyofaa. Haikuwa mbeleni. Sasa kesi zenyu hazitakwenda kule Premier League ama kule nationwide, ama zitakwenda katika shirikisho. Ndio maana nimesema wachezaji waanze kumemorize bali FKF hauziko, kwa sababu watakuwa wakienda huko na shida yoyote na watapata customer service, wataambiwa wanafaa kwenda wapi.
Bwana President, my burning question is, and I thought I would finish with this. For you to succeed as a federation, that dialogue must be there. We must have the youth involved in everything that we do. The previous federation, in my opinion, failed in one thing. They let KPL grow too big for their shoes.
Too big for their shoes?
Yes.
Oh.
Why am I saying that? Is because KPL dictates everything that happened then before. They say 16 teams and they stand by that. The federation is mum. They say we're not going to release our players for national team duty, even though we know that yes, it's 5 days, but we've got a big game coming up. What is so big in saying put the league on hold? Other countries have done it. let the players go and play, then we come back. There was that bad blood, and it made KPL too big because of those things you call MOUs and contracts. How do you tackle KPL? Because as of now, you've given them 9 out of 10. You're asking for the 10th one, which might be very heavy. When you put on the weighing scale, these are 9, this is the 10th one. Ukiwe hivi, ziko pamoja. It is the million-dollar question that everybody has been saying. 18 teams as agreed upon on an MOU that even FIFA said, sawa, tutaenda gradually into 18, but now goalpost in a shift cell. You've said you've requested. Very silently, you're saying, nime request. Na musiposikiza request yangu, mutajua mimi ni president pia.
Our attitude, Mike, is to come here to your show.
Yes.
And listen to that kid. And if they have a good point that we didn't have, we consider it. And we consider it seriously. It is the same attitude we have with the Kenya Premier League.
Yes.
I have told you that company is the one we recognize and we will work with.
Yes.
Hand on hand to develop our top tier game.
Okay.
No question about it. There are things like Innocent has raised that then need to be done by the federation in the rightful way. Before, the argument has been the federation has no capacity. And so what we are doing in the next 6 months is developing that capacity.
You're building that capacity.
To have it in place. So we don't tell you, take your case to FKF and there's nothing.
Yes.
Because also we have to show that we can get the job done. Beyond that is to say to them, and I have said this to them, that no longer will there be 2 sides. No longer will there be 2 spokesmen of the game. There will be one who says what we have agreed, however bitter it is. And so I have said this KPL business has been here since 2004. I'm told there was a Cairo agreement. I'm told there was a Cairo, you know, as you know, in 2004,
yes.
It's 12 years ago, I was very young.
Yes.
And so I'm told there were many other agreements along the way. A new day has come, Mike.
Yes.
We are opening the curtains of a new day, and we are asking them that they can leave those things of the past and hold our hands so that we can go together. We are watching them to come to us and are saying to them, if you do so, the game will go forward. Of course, then we can do more. We are going to FIFA, as you know, next week,
yes.
Mike. And big things are happening in FIFA as they have happened in Kenya. The same type of change.
What's that FIFA?
Is going to happen next week.
Who are you going to vote for?
I said
FIFA
that
election.
it's not my vote. It's a vote of Kenyans that I will cast. And we shall tell Kenyans next week before we leave where we shall put that vote. There are candidates who've already come to us and they are selling what they have. But remember also CAF has taken a position and so we'll be considering those things and make a decision.
Well, we did something that is very unusual at the sports desk. We said we normally finish with something called quickfire. And we said collect all the questions, 10 simple questions on football, what has been happening this weekend. Wow. We have the president of FKF in studio. Leo Yendi and face your quickfire. Alright?
Like, I've not been watching football this weekend.
We want to know, I saw him at the stadium on Saturday. Sunday I didn't go to the stadium. I don't know he was there. I was watching ball on TV. I am sure he was watching that football on TV.
I didn't watch, Mike.
You didn't watch?
I didn't watch. I couldn't watch.
Why couldn't you watch?
I was in meetings throughout.
No.
I'm serious.
Usiku?
At night.
Na hujasoma gazeti?
I can't read the whole of it.
Utasoma kidogo. We want to test your knowledge of football. Ama nimwachie? Usimwache. There are 2 things. You said decisions have to be made. If you're taking a contract away from a player, unamfukuza, lipa, nunua hiyo contract, mwachilia aende. Kama utaki kununua hiyo contract,
depending on the exit clause.
Yes. Kama utaki, tulia hapo na uendelee kumlipa. Sio? Sasa mimi nitakwambia tu rahisi. Maswali zangu ni 10. Director ataniambia ni ngapi zile una get. Namsikiza vizuri sana. Then we'll know how many you score out of 10. It's very simple. It's our football. Shoot. How many you score? I want the panel to tell me if akianguka ya aptitude test yetu, what does he need to do? I need a suggestion. Anaweza toa lunch. Sia sasa. Sia Sepe na lia lunch. Benefit of doubt amekuwa busy. Okay. Sawa. My questions are starting now, Mr. Nick Mwendwa, our president of the federation. Roba, are we ready? Uko na maswali hapo? The counter and thing is on screen. Nick, ni mimi na wewe hapa sasa. 60 seconds starting now. 10 questions. We start. Who scored the only goal for Gor Mahia on Saturday?
Agwanda.
What was the score between Thika United and Tusker FC?
2-1.
From which club was Timothy Otieno signed by Posta Rangers?
Gor Mahia.
Which two teams have the same sponsor in the SportPesa Premier League?
FC Gor.
Name any two teams that are yet to play a game in the SportPesa Premier League.
Gor and Bandari.
Which are the top 3 teams in the EPL?
Leicester City, Arsenal, Tottenham.
Which are the top 3 teams in the La Liga?
Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Real.
Who are the top 2 scorers in the English Premier League?
Jamie Vardy. The other one I can't remember.
Who was the FKF chairman before Sam Nyamoya?
Mohamed Hatim.
Who captained Harambee Stars at the Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup? Time up. 9 questions out of 10. Amepata ngapi?
8.5 band.
Calculation is going on. Calculation is going on.
Calculation going on.
Why do you have to calculate results, man? Just
yeah. 7. 7 out of 9. A good return?
Not bad.
And actually the question he didn't get was on EPL.
Yeah. So I know my local football.
Leicester, Tottenham, then Arsenal.
That's right. I know my local.
You inverted there.
Yes.
Kumbe unijua nani Hatim alikuwa president hapa. Well, we thank you very much for coming to our studio. We'll hold you accountable for everything that you've promised on the show. We hope that you'll have a good presidency. Wish you all the best when you go to FIFA. And FIFA actually came up with a list. That is something else we'll tackle on another time. That they came up the reforms that are there at FIFA. Once they pass the reforms, we shall put you on the spot in terms of Kenya versus the reforms. Do we have those reforms?
We're not perfect, Mike.
Yes.
We'll try our best. We're asking for people's support, and together we can get this done.
Thank you. Dom?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Of course, Nick Mwendwa there, 37 years old. He answered 7 questions correctly. Thank you so much for honoring us this afternoon on Monday Football. We also would like to say thank you, a very warm thank you to our DJ of the day. That is DJ Redbone. You can see even her operations here. It's the color red. I think she's just staying true to the day of Valentine, the day of love. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on Monday Football Show. We also like to thank our guests. They've come from diverse backgrounds, but what is key is the fact that they want as much as possible for the game to go back to its former heights, the beautiful game of football. We also like to say thank you to Expose Limited for this elaborate setup this afternoon. To say asante. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on the Monday Football Show. Let's get sporty. Of course, Monday Football next week. I'm just used to saying sporty.
Waiga tu nila.
Mimi nasikia watu wanataka kuona bwana president akidance. Unaona aje mafani?
Kuisha maneno.
Ada
waiga na kumulika.
Ngoma gani?
To do anything now. When you win, you have to do anything.
Wacha DJ yake ngoma, and that's how we wind up the show. #Monday Football. Thank you so much.